Hello everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome aboard. I've just had a delivery from Tiger Hobbies, so thank you very much for sending me this one, Gary. I have actually paid for it, but yeah, Gary got this to me overnight, so thank you very much. This is the brand new Andy's Hobby Headquarters M3 M3A1 US half track. I didn't even know this was coming. I don't know how this one slipped me by, but I didn't know it was coming. I've got the old trumpeter kit upstairs in the loft, and it's just, compared to this, it's not going to be very good at all. I just know this is going to be lovely. I know, for example, the trumpeter kit doesn't even have any front shock absorbers, and it's also got some silly vinyl parts and stuff in it, if I remember rightly. But no, this is going to be a beautiful model, and I might build it. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, 16th scale, so it's going to be a lovely size. You know, it's great with this green, the olive green, because you can go in and stain it and mark it and everything, and you can make it look weathered without having to go silly with mud and everything. Just like you can see there, it's just got a bit of dust on it. So there we go. So that's the box front. The kit number is, where is the kit number? AHHQ 010. So obviously it's number 10. So there we go. Looks very, very nice. On the box art, you can see we've got there's the number there. You can see here we've got a figure, a full plastic figure included. It's 1/6 scale. We've got highly detailed plastic model, full cabin cargo area, interior, detailed engine compartment, movable front wheels, not a toy, intended for ages 14 plus. And as with all of Andy's kits, in cooperation with Takom. Okay, so there we go. Right, big box. You can see underneath here is my cutting mat. That's A2. So you can see it's a big old box. Right, so let's have a look around the sides. So you can see here we've got 4 versions in the box. We've got this one from France, August 44. We've got this one from Sicily, July 43, and that's got the town on it as well, and you've got the lovely big allied symbol there. We've got France, September 44, and we've got the box front version, France, August 44. So yeah, all olive drab, other than that one, which is olive drab with some brown on it. These have got the winch on the front, and these have got the roller, so you can take your pick. And then come around the other side of the box, we've got typical Takom style. We have all of the sprues there laid out. We've got vinyl tracks, as you can see, which is a shame. I wish it didn't have those, but I've got a feeling the real things were like made of rubber or something, weren't they? So maybe it's not so bad. We've got some cable. We've got some steel pins, we've got some slide moulded parts here individually, and we've got 2 large decal sheets by the look of it. So yeah, a little bit of photo etch. So nice little kit actually. Probably the newer modelers among you would get on well with this, because it hasn't got too much photo etch. It doesn't have any sort of silly multi-part tracks for you to build up and mess up with the glue and everything. So yeah, probably a good little kit for you to get stuck into. So let's have a look in the box. End of the box are just basically the artwork with the kit number on. So let's get my non-existent fingernails under here. If my fingernails are dirty at all, grubby, I'm sorry. It's because I've been working on my Fiat 131, which I'm restoring, and you can see here, wow, that is a crammed box. That is absolutely crammed solid to the top. Look at that. You can see there, if I hold the box like, you can see across the box, it's absolutely crammed full. So we're going to have to make sure it goes back in the same, or it's not going to go back in the box. I'm going to do my my review differently here. What I normally do is do the instructions and the decals and everything first. But what I want to do is take this out of the box and lay it in the lid as it came out, so that I can make sure it goes back in. It's all resealable bags, which is great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the box lid over here next to me, and I'm going to have it on the floor, keep Dottie away from it, and we'll put this one over here, and then we can get on with our review. And I think what I'll do is reposition the camera a bit closer so that you can see things a bit easier, and go from there. Okay, so here we have our first sprue, and this is sprue E. And usually Takom normally have a big cutout with the letter, don't they? Maybe they couldn't fit it on this sprue. Excuse these bruises on my arm. This is what happens as you get older. This was working on my Fiat yesterday, and that was literally, as I was doing a bolt, that was rubbing against the end of the brake master cylinder. And that's what's happened. It's like a bruise. It's weird. This is what happens when you get old. You get a cut and it makes a big mark. So if you're young and beautiful, you have been warned. Your best days are now. Right, so here we have the sprue. Now obviously we have our tracks on here, and you can clearly see they're vinyl and they're sellotaped on, and they're also sticking to the plastic. I hope they're not doing what Tamiya vinyl does, damaging the plastic. No. But there's the tracks there. You can see we've got the pads on there and the bits going across, and then we've got the guides on there as well. Let me get the overhead light on for you so you can see a bit better. You can see on there we've got the guides. They're quite shiny. They're going to take a bit of knocking back. And yeah, you can see they're a bit flattened there as well. So I kind of wish they'd made the tracks out of plastic rather than vinyl. But as I say, I'll have to do some research, but I think in reality they're actually vinyl anyway. I'm just looking here. It looks like we've got some issues here. This isn't good. Straight away we're seeing issues. We've got like sinkage. You can see that track link there. The end is sort of shrunk back. But as I say, when it's covered in a bit of dust or a bit of mud or whatever, it's not going to matter. But I'm assuming they're going to super glue together. So yeah. And then here, these are the insides of the panels. I can tell that because we've got ejector pin marks. So there's ejector pin marks all over these parts on the inside. So, and he's also got these ones here that you have to break off. So you're going to have to get rid of those. Those are obviously inside the cargo compartment. And then the exterior is here. And you can see we've got, I'm not sure if that's sink marks or shadows. It looks like it's just a shadow, but you can see it there. You can see it along here as well. So yeah, we give Airfix a hard time for it. So if Takom have got it as well, we're going to give them a hard time for it too. But I can't feel anything. It looks like it's just shadows. Anyway, you can see you've got all the screw heads on here as well, which is nice. Rather than just domes, we've got actual screw heads, slotted screw heads, which they used a lot on these vehicles in that period. So yeah, very nice indeed. So we've got the windshield here, and then there's the armour for the windshield. Assuming this is going to be the engine cover, and then the two engine covers go on, and you've got the sides here. But again, you've got all the lovely detail on the outside, hinge detail, screw detail and everything. If I want to be really picky here, there's one thing that does let it down a little bit. If you look at it, the screws, all the slots are in line, and they would never be like that in real life. But you know, that is really rivet counting and being picky. So you know, I don't forgive you for going, oh God, Nigel, when I say that. So there we are. Very nice. Right. Not too sure about those tracks. I think the aftermarket will come along with something for those tracks. Maybe some 3D printed clip together ones or something. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, so here we have Sprue Q. Where's the end opening bit? I do like these resealable bags. It means you can reseal the kit, and if you want to sell it, it's just as it was when it was new, rather than having something like, for example, Airfix, where you have to cut the bag open, or many other manufacturers where you have to cut the bag open and then the kit is classed as opened. So here we have the steering wheel, which looks very nice indeed, very, very finely done. Some sort of ratchet lever thing there. These look like they're probably the side panels for the windscreen. Headlight guards. Even though they're plastic, they look pretty nicely to scale. This is the thing with this scale. If you made the headlight guards in photo etch, they might look a little undersized. Because remember, these things were quite trunky. They had to be tough. They had to put up with a lot. And they want them to last. Got the gear levers there. That looks like footrests. There's another lever there. I've got these rods here, which are probably tie downs or something going on the sides of the body. And then we've got some hoops here for the canvas, which no doubt will be folded up on this model because it's open topped. So here we've got a little sprue of greeblies, and this would perhaps indicate we may have another version coming. I wonder if they'll do the M16 like Tamiya did. So this is Sprue S. You can see on here we've got our lovely 50 cal. Its cooling jacket there, all drilled out. You want to drill that out again because you can see it's not slide molded. It is slide molded on the end, but the cooling holes are solid through the side there, but then they've gone through on the same here, so that the hole is sort of chamfered on the edge. So you want to open those out, square them up, make them look better. And you've got all the mounts here for it and everything. Ammo box. I can't see any ammo. Maybe it's on another sprue. Got the top of the ammo box there closed. Got the top of the gun. But I can't see any ammo actually feeding into the gun. Maybe gas patch will do something for that. And then what do we have here? We have, this is a major sprue. Once again, as with all Takom kits, we've got these massive great ejector pin things on here. You can see them all sticking up. These are called Z-pins. They're going to have to be broken off. So yeah, they're everywhere. This is the underneath in the mud guards. Again, we've got ejector pin marks everywhere. We've got ejector pin marks in the floor, but that's the underside of the floor, so that's good. We've got the fenders there, which look beautiful. We've got a lot of sinkage going on that panel there, you can see. So yeah, you've got fuel tanks. The floor's got the grids on it for the checker plate, whatever you call it. And you've got the same here in the cargo area, and then we've got all the storage here for the rifles, I think. That's for rifle butts to go in. So yeah. Again, ejector pin marks, but you know, when you've got big parts like this, they're unavoidable. So I'm not going to start, you know, giving Takom or any hobby headquarters a hard time for having ejector pin marks. They're an evil of injection moulding, I'm afraid. So this is the figure, obviously. So you can see there he is with his bald head, just like mine. And there we go. There's the torso, there's the legs and the arms. So it's obviously a driver figure looking at the shape of the arms. So no tread on his shoes. So he's going to slip over in the ice, isn't he? Hands there. Yeah, it looks like hands gripping the steering wheel. That's got finger pointing up. So but there you are. I know you'd be interested to see this because a lot of you do like your figures. The moulding does look very nice. Right, what have we got here? We're only like 2 inches down the box, and the box is about 6 inches tall. We've got a lot of plastic to look at here, guys. There's a lot of plastic in this kit. So here we have Sprue H. So this is obviously the rear panel, so that's the cargo rear door. This is the sort of sub chassis that's going to support the back end, I'm assuming. And then we've got the mount there for the gun. Not sure what these bits here are. That's the thing. Normally I've looked at the instructions first, so I'd probably know what they were, but in this case I don't. There's the doors by the look of it. Again, we've got ejector pin marks in here, which you'll have to get rid of. They've kept them away from this upper area here, which is nice. And we've got some lovely screw and nut and bolt detail here. Really sharp. It almost feels like it would cut your finger. It's that sharp. Again, we've got these Z-pins that need to come off as well, so that's no big deal. And then here we have Sprue S. We've already had a Sprue S. It's a bit weird. Okay, I think S was the one with the guns on, wasn't it? Maybe the S Sprue is generic from the M4. Now I've got the M4 here. I bought it at Telford last year, again off of Gary, and I've never even opened the box. I should do a review of it really. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a review of the 16th. I've got the Sherman. It's the M4A3 E8 EZ8. I've got it behind me. Never even opened the box. Right, so here we have, not sure what that is. This looks like some parts of the chassis rails. Here we've got some racks by the look of it. Is that a steering box? We've got a hook. Tulsa Winch Company, so that's part of the winch obviously for the front end. That might be the extensions for the chassis for the winch, and this might be the bumper that has the winch. What they've done here, rather than slide mold it, you can see they've molded the bumper split, you know, fore aft. So you've got a seam line there, a pretty heavy one to deal with between those bolt heads. So that's unfortunate. Shame they didn't put it on the end and slide mold it, but never mind. Here we go. Here's what I've been looking forward to seeing. Here are the chassis rails. So you can see now the size of this thing. So we've got, what's that, 150, 300, 350 mil long, and that's without the extensions on the front for the winch. So it's probably going to be about 400 mil long, which is a nice size, isn't it? Nice big old model to get your teeth into. No fitty little detail parts. And as I say, probably depending on how the instructions are, because Takom instructions, I know this is Andy's hobby cottage, but he's probably using the same people that do Takom. The Takom instructions are quite often pretty bad. Because I know that Das work instructions, some of their instructions are bad as well. But not all, only some of them. So there's the chassis rails. We've got some lovely bolt detail on there, and they are actually hexagons as well, which is nice. And then we've got lots of slots for putting bits and pieces on. Yeah, really, really nice. Not exactly sure what that is. That looks like it may be part of the stereo box, perhaps. I don't know. And then we've got some components there. There's the pin tool moulded in 2 halves, which is not good because it means you've got a seam to deal with, but it's good because otherwise it would be full of sink marks if you made it in one chunk because it would be so thick. So we've got a radiator fan shroud there, and we've got a radiator. I'm not sure if that's the inside or the outside. That's probably the inside because it's got a hole there, probably for the upper hose. But yeah, we do actually have. They used to do this. They did this on the GPW. They bolt in a section on the inside with holes in it. Now on the GPW, it was actually box, so it made like a box section. So it was like a C section that went in like that. So I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but I know they did this with they put plunged holes in the panels and then bolted them in for some extra rigidity, or riveted them in. These are bolted by the look of it. Oh no, it looks like the plate's riveted. Those pieces there are bolted. Okay, so you've got ejector pin marks in here, but they're very, very shallow. They may even be slightly raised. They'll sand out easily, whichever way they are. So don't worry too much about them. As I say, ejector pin marks are, they're part of injection molding. You can't get around it unless you have really small sprues. That's how people like models of it get away with not having ejector pin marks, or their sprues are like this big. So here we have, this is Sprue, this is Sprue R. So, is that ammo racks there? Not sure what any of this is really. We've got some very thin parts here. That one's, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that or if it's all got bent. Prop shaft parts here, by the look of it. And then we've got chassis parts by the look of it here. I remember seeing that on the other side on another sprue. That looks like part of a gun mount perhaps, or some sort of swivelling mount, might be for a spotlight. There we go. You've got these rings here. I'm assuming these are mounting for a gun ring, perhaps. I think we've got different options on how we can have this configured. So, you're probably going to have a stanchion with a gun on it. You probably have a gun ring in the roof, all sorts. We are now about halfway through the box, guys. So there is a lot of plastic in this kit. Bloody hell! When you consider this is like I've seen it for 130. It's 135 pound or something, 140. When you consider these days you can pay 50 quid for a 48 scale aircraft, this ain't bad value. So here's the other side. We had that one on the other sprue, and then here's our cab. Okay, so the engine covers are going to come down here, so that's going to be your front fender going on there. So you've got all the exterior again. You've got all this lovely screw detail, but all the screws are perfectly in line. If you're being picky, then hey, what you could do if you want to is go on and fill them all and then cut them in and have them all scattered all over the place how they would be in real life. And you can see on the inside there, there's the nut heads from the screws. So again, we've got these Z pins on here we need to get rid of, and in there we've got ejector pin marks in here we need to get rid of. Got some checker paint there. I'm guessing that's that's going to go like here. I'm guessing. But look at it, it's all just made of flat plates. I love these things. Whenever I go to a military show, they sometimes have one in Cambridge, which is fairly near me, and there's a guy that brings one on a low loader. And oh, I love it. I wish I could get a ride in it one day. Absolutely love these things. So here we go, we've got our engine. So not sure if this is it a GMC? Not sure who made these. Oh, it's white. There we go. It's white. So here we go. So we've got a white straight 6 engine. So there's your exhaust manifold, or is that the inlet manifold? Looks like it might be the exhaust manifold. We've got 2 fans. So obviously there's options. You can see you've got a 5-bladed fan and a 6-bladed fan, so you can make your choice. There's the timing cover there. We've got the disc brake for the handbrake, if you like. Engine block, lovely detail on there. We've got the white casting mark on there. You've got your side valve covers here. There's the bell housing. Very nice indeed. There's a cross member there. I'm thinking this might be the transmission. Remember guys, on these vehicles the transmission was very small. You know, the a Willys Jeep transmission is only about that long. It's tiny, little 3-speed. But yeah, starter motor by the look of it. There's a UJ there, which is nice. Very nice. And then once again, they just keep coming. So here we got a load of rifles. It looks like this might be a mirrored sprue. Is it? Yes, it is. So we've got another one of these. So this is sprue N. And this is also sprue N. So we've got 2 of those. Okay, so it's quite a weighty sprue as well. So we've got our seats here with the nice pattern on them. Unfortunately, again, this is unfortunate, the pattern is exactly the same on all the seat cushions. So that's a bit of a... And it's the same here. Oh no, that one's different. But those 2 are the same. And you got this one here. So you can have identical seats. It's like when they do aircraft cockpits and they give you 2 resin seats, like for an F-14, and both of them have got moulded on harnesses, and they're both exactly the same. It just looks a bit odd because they would never be like that in real life. Anyway, so we've got a machine gun here. We've got another pair of guns here. So we're going to have 4 of those. So we'll have 4 of those, and we're going to have 6 rifles. We've got all these mounts here, and then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 10 of these seat cushions, 2 each of those seat cushions, 4 of these gun mounts. Not exactly sure what they are. Or these are like little wheels for something or other. Maybe they're ammo cans. Not sure. Mines. I don't know. But yeah, very nice indeed. You see they've managed to do the rifles with no ejector pin marks, so that's nice. And there's no sinkage on the butts either, which is nice. Yeah, lovely. Really impressed with this. And the sprues just keep on coming. Right, so here we have another sprue, and this is sprue J. So we've got the main axle there, that's going to drive the sprockets for the half-track bit. We've got another prop shaft part there. Is that a ball end for the front axle? I'm not sure. It could well be, because we've got another one there. Yeah, another one, short one there, long one there. So this is probably parts for the front axle. This might actually be the front axle. Not sure. I think it's got a drive to the front axle, haven't they, these? I think. I can't remember now. I'm sure they have. There's some chassis cross members there. Again, on the back you've got the lovely detail, but you do have ejector pin marks to deal with. But hey, that's what modelling is all about. So yeah, you can see some lovely fine detail on these bits. Very nice indeed. That looks like the steering box there. Me liking. Okay, so we've got a big sprue now. So this is sprue M. And obviously there's our big chunky front wheels. Okay. So we've got 2 of these clearly. So I'm going to put one in the box and we'll have a look at one of them. So these are our front wheels. We do have tyre lettering. Goodroth, Silverworth. Oh, Goodrich, sorry, Goodrich. What they've done, that's why I thought it said wrong. What they've done to save the copyright, they've got Good Royot So all you need to do is scratch away half of that O to make it into rich. Okay, good rich silver tone. Non-directional, super traction, 825/20. So there's your tyres. You've got your back plates there for your brakes. Here's your sprockets, here's your front hubs. These are going to be idler wheels, or road wheels should I say. Got some leaf springs here. Remember, with 2 of these sprues, and they've got all these little foot loops which are nice, all separate. So that's nice that they're separate rather than just moulded on lumps. And then we've got some gun racks there. Okay, so we got 2 leaf springs, not 4, because they're moulded in halves. Which again, you've got a seam line to do with, but if they were moulded solid, you'd have sink marks all through here. So I'd rather have to deal with a seam than a sink mark on a leaf spring. And then you've got all these little bits of the rear suspension, and they've all got the casting marks on them, which is really, really nice. So that's going to pick up a dry brush or an oil or whatever. All going to look lovely. And then this is our final bag of plastic screws. And once again, I can see in the bottom here, they've put the decals in the bottom of the box face up with all this plastic on top. So we'll see what the decals are like in a minute. I don't know why manufacturers keep doing it. Do what Airfix do, put them in the instructions. Or put them in the bottom of the box face down. Okay, so again, we've got 2 of these sprues. So this is sprue L. We'll put one back in the box and we'll have a look at this one. So we've got our fuel cans here. G, I assume, is for gas. We've got a great big spring there. That's going to be the tensioner for the tracks. Remember, these tracks don't sag, they're tensioned. We've got a headlight there, which is slide molded. We can draw that out and put a little bulb in there, which will add a bit of accuracy to it. We've got some side lights here. Again, slide molded. There's the top of the jerry can. There's the cap. We've got some little bits here, and it says what does it say on there? Reeves US, whatever that is. It's got like a flame on it, so it looks like the ends of the ammo boxes. Maybe the flame shows it's flammable. And there's a little jerry can holder on the back, which is what they also have on a Willys Jeep. And then here we've got these mountings, and they're slide molded as well, so the ends are hollowed out. Yeah, lovely. And then on the top of that box there, it's actually got moulded on Cal 30 M1 ammunition box. So they're all Cal 30s, 30 cals. There we go. So that's our sprues. Now in here, this bag, oh sorry, we've got some plastic parts here. So we've got, these are obviously all very cleverly slide molded. So we've got our idlers here, or that might be part of the sprocket for all I know. Beautifully done, slide molded. We've got a seam across there, and we've got little tiny ejector bin marks in the back there. So very little work to get them looking absolutely stunning. Look at that, they're gorgeous. And then we've also got these here, which are the outer half of these, I'm guessing. Yeah, so, and you can see they've got all the I'm not sure what they say. They've got D48406 R J9L C. So do we have some with L on? That's R, that's R, and that's R. So they can't be right and left. Maybe it's front and rear, I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. So there's 2 of those, and they're going to go with those, and then these will go back to back. So it can't be front and rear. Or are these going to go onto the sprocket perhaps? This is what I'd know if I looked at the instructions already. But I was thinking maybe the R was right, but probably not, because they probably would have made one with L on if it was the case. So that can go back in there. Right. So I'm going to put those in the box, or I'll forget and leave them out. I've got the box on the floor. I'll just show you. I've got the lid, and as you can see, I've been putting the parts in there, and you can see we are pretty much level with the top of the box, so it's going to go back in. That's the main objective of this, is to get it back in. Right, they must have people at these factories who actually work out a plan to make these parts fit in the boxes, because it's amazing how they do it sometimes. You know, you go and buy an early border model Lancaster and try and get that back in the box. It's nigh impossible. Right, so we'll take this out of this bag. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got the decals all facing up with all the sprues on top. And luckily, it looks like we've got away with it. There's a bit of a dent there. And there's a tiny little ding there, but nothing much. So it could have been a lot worse than it is. Right, let's have a look at these. Where is the... It's this end. That's a bit weird. It's just the bag is sort of creased up at the end. But the bag's been creased before the decals have been put in, which is a bit weird. Okay, so this is our first decal sheet. So these look to be a lot better than the ones that come with the Takom Apache. But there's a lot of carrier film on there, so I hope they go down well. Get a nice gloss coat down first, and they'll go down lovely, I expect. So we've got the big alloy thing for the hood there, and then we've got lots and lots of different serial numbers. You can see there. Okay. And then we've got Cochrane, Destroyer. There's the specs there. We've got some stencils and some bits and pieces for the instrument panel by the look of it. And then up here we've got Bitching Pals, we've got Crake and Bait, B17. So there we go. And then this one here is in a separate bag. I'm not going to get this one out. But you can see here we've got the alloyed signs. This one's got the background. I'm not sure if that's some sort of gas, like the had the yellow panels in the British vehicles to look for gas. Got the group numbers there, got numbers here, and then we've got lots of more registrations and alloyed stars, and the alloyed star going around the ring around them as well, or the US star and the alloyed star. That's what I call them anyway. So there we go. So that's the decals. Very nice indeed. Then we have here, we have our bag of clear parts, which are beautifully protected. They're wrapped up in, let's get them out and have a look. Let's have a look in here. So take note, manufacturers, this is how to pack clear parts. This is how it's done. Meng are also very good at it. They normally put clear in, and as do Hong Kong models. They normally put some lovely protective coating. And what trumpeter and that do, they generally tend to put the clear parts in a separate box. And I can't find the ends of this. So it looks like we might not be able to see the clear parts properly. And I don't want to rip this off, because if I decide to sell this model, I want to sell it as new. Okay, that literally took about 3 minutes to get that out of there. But anyway, we got there. So you can see we got our windscreen panels here, which are very nice, which they would be because they're flat, but they could also have distortion in them, but they don't. They're lovely. We've got light lenses there. We've got our headlight lenses there, which are lovely and shiny. We've got our rear lights there. That's the blackout lights. So yeah, get them a bit of paint. We'll put some light bulbs in the lights. In this scale, it's worth it, and they will look amazing. We can wrap that back up, get that put back in its bag for safekeeping, and the cling film is sticking to the bag, which makes it a nightmare to put away. Go on, I'm not going to turn the camera off because I really do want to put these away in case I scratch them. There we go. Then we've got some cable. Got 2 lots of cable. It's copper, so it bends nicely. It's not like the stainless steel stuff that springs around. You can position it wherever you want. You can do whatever you want with it. So there we go. That's nice. So nice that they've done that. Now I did see on the side of the box it had 2 lots of cable. Okay, I can see what I'm looking at now. There's cable there, and then we've got chain. Got some chain in there which is very bright, so that'll have to be dulled down a bit. Perhaps give it in some blackening solution. And then we've got some steel pins there in that little baggie. And then we've got here, we have some photo etch parts, and this looks like there's a little grill there. That looks like it's windscreen wipers. And that there, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like it folds in half. Yes, it does. So there you go. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to fold that way, which means it's not going to fold very easily. It's got this detail on here, the 4 dots. So anyway, okay, so here we have the instruction manual, and it looks like they're trying to copy Das work, Zucchimura, copper state models. It's all looking very similar, isn't it? So we've got the War Department instruction manual for the M3 M3A1 US half-track 2-in-1 kit. So you can see this one's got all the guns mounted, that big gun ring on the top there. So and you've got the driver figure sat there as well. So that looks pretty cool. Right, so there's our friend Andy. Everybody loves Andy, don't they? And as he would say, let's get started. So here we are. Right, and no, that is not taking the mick out of him. I've done this before and got it in the net for it. I'm not taking the mick out of him. I'm just saying it because it's what he always says. Okay. So we have our sprue call outs here, and the bits and pieces here. So that's nice and in colour. Then here we are into the typical Takom design style instructions. It's kind of glossy paper, so I'm going to turn this light off above the camera so that it might darken it up, but you'll see it easier. So here we've got some cross members going together. That looks like the rear cross member because it's got that spring in it for the pin tool. And then we've got the, is that the sump? Nope. That's going to sit under the sump by the look of it. It's like a bash plate that going underneath. Got the exhaust going together here. And then we're getting straight into building up the chassis and putting the chassis halves together and everything. And then we're going to build up the engine, which looks lovely detailed. Don't forget to get some cables and fuel lines and stuff on there. And then we've got, where is the distributor? Where is the distributor? I'm assuming this is a petrol engine. I'm sure it would be. There's the carburetor, yeah. So I can't see a distributor. Unless that's it there, but that, I'm thinking that's probably the oil filter, that's probably a breather. Maybe the distributor is buried down somewhere so you can't see it anyway, but a bit of research, it'd be easy to research this. There'll be tons of stuff on the internet for one of these. Okay, so see, this is the thing that gets me with these instructions. What on earth does that mean? Actually, there's no legend in here. Normally, here we go, there's the legend. There's nothing about bracketed numbers. So if you come to this, this is all straightforward. You've got different sprues, different parts. Nice to see in here we've only got the K and the L sprue. In here we've only got the J and the L. J, K, P. So they're not putting hundreds of different parts on different sprues, so you're just getting 2 sprues out of the box and doing a whole step. Alright, so we've got the intake manifold there and the exhaust manifold there. Looks like some sort of flap valve there to get hot air going back up into the carburetor for cold starts. We've got the oil filter there. Was that the air filter? That looks like the oil filter to me. It's very difficult to work out which is which from these drawings, but I'm sure it's all there. And then we've got the transmission. There's the bell housing. That's the starter motor there by the look of it. And then there's the transfer box. We've got the brake mechanism here. You've got all the brake mechanism going on there, which is nice. And then all that's going together, going onto the back of the engine, dropping into the chassis, which is a nice touch. So yeah, don't forget fuel lines for your carburetor, ignition lines for your spark plugs. Maybe that is a distributor there and it's got like a sort of protective cover on it to seal it in. As I say, reference material is going to be your friend here. So we've got some cross members going in, little cross members underneath. We got the tensioners there for the tracks at the rear. And then here we've got the, is that the dynamo there, or is that part of the, I'm not quite sure what that is. It's going on the side of the chassis. Maybe it's, I don't think they had air brakes, did they? Maybe it's some sort of master cylinder or accumulator or something. And then here we've got the pulleys, and we've got the fans. You've got the choice of fans, so there's no real reference to which is which. It's just the choice of fans, which I wish they would tell you. Okay, I've just worked it out. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5 and 10. 3, 4, 5 and 10. Are there 10 different options to this model? Yes. There are 10 options. No, there's 9. Profile 9, because there's no 0, I guess. So we've got where's profile 1 and 2? It's a bit weird. Okay, so we've got here, it starts with these folding out as well. I don't understand why it's starting here with profile 3. Maybe we've got profile 1 and 2 on the box. I'm not sure. It's always with these Das work Takom and the odd quarters, it's always a little bit sort of, you know. So this is the profile 3, this is profile 4, profile 5, 10, okay, this is a tear out, so it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, right, profile 1, profile 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, we've already seen 10, so we have got 10, and then there's our instrument panel and painting and decals guide for the engine. So that is fantastic, isn't it? 10 different options. That is wonderful. So if you wanted to have like these in your, you know, if you've got like a radio controlled 1/16 scale diorama that you use for your models, you know, and you just want to have a couple of statics, you could build 2 different models, and it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? That is absolutely great. Well done, Andy's Hobby Headquarters. That's brilliant. That's the Sherman. I've got that one there. Right, so that's what those bracketed numbers mean. So for steps 1, 2, 6, 7, 8 and 9 you're going to use that, and for steps 3, 4, 5 and 10 you're going to use that. So I'm assuming that's the drive for the winch. I'm assuming that's what that is. Okay, so then coming over the page here, we've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 3, 4, 5 and 10. So we have, it's all the same. P67, it's all the same except for that shaft there, R32, which is a Godzilla skyline. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So they've really simplified that for us, and they've showed us how this P67 pipe goes as well. That's your bottom radiator hose. Bottom radiator hose going into the exhaust. Seems a bit weird. Okay. It looks like it's going to the exhaust there. Right. In fact, we've got the exhaust fitted already, so it can't be going into the exhaust. No, the exhaust is on the other side. So that's obviously going into the water pump or something there. Sorry guys, I'm losing it. Right, so we'll just move on, just ignore me. So here we've got the axle going together, so that's going to drive the front sprocket, or the sprockets on the front of the rear end. And then we've got some more bits and pieces going in here. We've got our idlers going on there by the look of it, or their return rollers. Boxes there to support the return rollers, and then we've got these Sherman type things that support the suspension. And then we've got our wheels going together, our road wheels, and then we've got the sprockets going on, and the idlers here. All looking very nice. It looks like we got, I didn't actually notice that on the plastic parts, but it looks like we got writing on the tyres, which is a nice touch. We've got the cross member going in there to support the rear end, and then we've got steel pins to hold the tracks together, so that's nice. So, and remember, they should be tension, guys. That's what those springs are. They keep the tracks tension, just like a Sherman. It's not just like a Sherman has tension tracks. So you've got Leaf springs here, we've got nice separate shackles. So that is the front differential that we saw, and the ball end's going in. Looks like the axle's going to be nice and strong, well designed, not just a flimsy little thing. And then you're going to not glue anything, and then you can steer the front wheel. So if you've got a Land Rover Defender, you'll know what I mean with these balls on the front. There's our spring shackles going in, and the hangers behind. That's a steering arm, and we've got pins here with no glue, so that's all going to be, it's going to work all the steering mechanism as well. So that's nice. This is going to be a lovely model out of the box. Just add a little bit of pipework to that engine just to make it pop. Prop shaft going in there for the front axle, so I was right, it does have drive to the front wheels. And then we've got a winch here. Where did we build up the winch? Did I completely miss that? Oh, here it is. So we're basically doing all of this and then doing that. So it should, why didn't you have that at the top pointing down? You wouldn't confuse silly old farts like me then. So there's the actual frame for the winch, and you've got the wire cable going around that, which is a nice touch, and then you've got a chain going on, holding on to the hook. So that's going to look amazing. That's going to look beautiful, that done. And then here's the roller type, that's so they can roll up out of ditches. And then you've got here, this is the bumper for the winch, and obviously that one won't have a bumper. So if you like a long model, this one will be longer than that one. Building up the front wheels, and then we're adding the front wheels onto the end of the front axle, and we've got all these little pieces going on here. Not exactly sure what they are, so they're showing them here, little braces by the look of it. Tiny little braces, I'm not exactly sure what they are. Never noticed those before on a half track. At least we have shock absorbers on this one, which is what Takom missed. This looks a lot nicer than the Takom kit, to be honest, guys. But in fairness, the trumpeter kit, in fairness, the trumpeter kit is very old now. So, and it was one of the, you know, they were sort of pioneering with the 16th scale, their 16th scale range. Obviously, Tamiya sort of, I don't know if Tamiya started it, but they certainly had their radio controlled tanks out. So here we've got some towing hooks going onto there on the front, same on both sides. And then here we start on the, this is going to be the bulkhead by the look of it. Is that the air filter there? And then we've got some sort of cylinder here for something or other. There's a photo etch part. Okay, that part does fold back, but it doesn't fold right back on itself. So that's pretty cool. So you've got a photo etch bracket holding that. And where's that gone? That's just going to be moved past, and then we're going to come back to it. Pedal assemblies going in here. So we've got two separate pedals for the brake and the clutch, separate pedal for the throttle. And then we've got levers here. This little piece going back here is going to show you how it's fitted. And then there's the rest of the bulkhead. So that's going to come down. So that part's going to come down next to that one and get fitted to the front of the floor. Then we're going to make up a couple of seats. Again, you might want to put some extra thin on there and adjust the seat, make them look a bit different so they're not just a mirror copy of each other. I'm also not sure if you had the gun ring over the cab, would they have the seat there? I don't know. Step 28.1, step 28.2. Now again, there is no difference. Okay, the only reason they're showing you different is because this one has the roller and this one has the winch, but the actual operation you're doing is identical. So there we go. Building up the cab, we've got the tools going in the side, some nice separate handles going on the doors. We don't have hinge doors, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they put a little pin in those, wouldn't it? We could always do that ourselves. We've got the plate going in the side there, and then we've got a jerry can holder, and you can have this little sliding window here open and closed. And then you've got the same on the other side, all going together. And then we've got the driver figure, which I won't use. And then we've got the two sides coming together, steering column, instrument panel. So this is 32.1 and this is 32.2. There is no different, oh yes there is, Q24 is going on the front, and this one has R15. So that's the difference there. But everything else is the same. So there you go. So they've got it very, very well called out, you know, the options and stuff, but they don't tell you what it's for on some occasions. So here you've got the clear parts going in for the windows, wiper motors, and then here we've got some slats. This is going to be for the front of the grille. Fenders going together. You've got to drill some holes for your lights and your frames. And then here we've got the side lights going together. They're going to be stuck there. Or are these the main headlights? No, they're the main headlights. There. Yeah, so these are side lights or indicators, or blackout light or something. Maybe a blackout light, that one. And then we have engine covers. So you've got the option of having them opened or closed, or you can make some little hinges yourself. But there we go, looking lovely. And then we've got the armour plate going over the top, which you can have either out or down over the windscreen. So there we are, vertical, level. Okay. And then we're going to start on the big back end, which is very, very nice. You've got to drill out some 3.1mm holes for 8, 9 and 10, and some 3.1mm holes there for, or one 3.1mm hole for versions 1 and 5. So you need to decide pretty soon on which one you're going to do. I know for sure that if I started building this now, it would have a winch for sure. So there you go. And then we've got hatches here, open, closed for the floor. I'm guessing that's just storage areas in there, so you can have them open with some stuff chucked in there. There will be some beautiful builds of this where people will fill them up with figures and they will look remarkable. Luke will probably do one of them, Luke Carswell. He will probably build one of these and make an absolute stunning job of it and have it full of men, and you'll be able to tell the story just from looking at it, the way he's got the men, what they're saying to each other. It will be beautiful. But you may not, because I don't think 16th is his scale. So here they're telling us to remove some screw head detail to fit these side pieces here. Okay, so obviously check your references. You clearly don't have to have those side pieces, because otherwise they wouldn't have moulded those screws on. So you may be able to build the model without those side pieces, without these racks along the side. Okay, so then we've got the rifles going together, some ammo boxes, and then again we're going to do the same on the other side. And then we've got the back end here with the door. You can have the door open or closed. There's the door there on the inside. That's going together. And then here we've got the racks on the back for putting bits and pieces on, so you can have that down or up. Okay, and then we've got the pintle hook going on the back there. You can have that any rotation you want. Oh, it's rotatable, so you just push it in, I guess. And then I didn't notice any poly caps, so it must just be a friction fit. And then here you've got a gun mount. Is that a 30 cal there? Yeah. So you've got a gun mount and an ammo box for a 30 cal, but you've got no ammo. I don't know why they didn't give us any ammo to make the guns look like they're loaded. The aftermarket will jump on it, don't worry. So here we have some rear lights, I think. Yes, are they rear spotlights? Or are they crew lights or something? So this is step 49.1. So this is there's that frame around there, around the top, so that's going to look amazing. And then this is a different frame. You can see the difference in these here. You've got the different frames on them. This one's going to have the gun ring mount on the roof. Okay, and that's for versions 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And then this one is just for version 1, I'm guessing. No, version 1 and version 1 and 5. There you go, it says it there, sorry. 50 cal going together with ammo boxes, the gun ring going on. You've got the mount and everything. That could probably be all left to move around. Build up a couple of fuel cans, and you're going to stick them in those little boxes on the sides here of the cab. Put your gun ring on the top. Get a great big bottle of olive drab paint and spray it green. There we are, job done. Very, very nice indeed. Let me know in the comments, please, what would be put on these racks here at the back. What a lovely, lovely looking model. It really is. Now, you know that I'm usually quite critical of kits, but I'm very impressed with this. Of course, I don't know how it goes together. I haven't built it. I don't know how good the instructions are. It could be that the build sequence is all over the place. Bits get broken. Part numbers are wrong. I very much doubt it, but it could be. But it does look a very sensible build sequence. And it does look like a beautiful, beautiful build. And I love the way at the back here they give us the the colour call-outs for the engine and that. So that's going to be something like XF54 is that engine grey colour. It's probably the same colour as Ford used. You'll be able to tell from these decals what they are. I think that's an electronics box there. That's the air filter there. That's the oil filter. They had the system. These engines in World War II, they didn't have like you have today. You didn't pump the oil from the oil pump through the filter and then into the engine. What they had was an oil gallery that the pump pumped oil into, and off of that gallery was a pipe that fed the filter and then another pipe that went back into the sump. So basically it filtered some of the oil. It didn't filter all the oil. So, you know, if you had a, you know, let's just say a peanut, it wouldn't go through the oil pump. You could have a peanut go around the oil system. It would just keep going round and round and round and never get filtered. So it could happen. We've got some decals there for the ammo bins, which is nice. We've got decal stencils here for the cab. All these stencils here for the instrument panel, which were on every World War II vehicle. Very, very nice indeed. And with these 10 options, so let's just have a quick look at those. So Profile 3, this is Germany, 1945. So the options on the side of the box just give us 4. There's actually 10. So this is Germany 45. Salty Baldy, so you could leave that driver's hat off and he'd be Salty Baldy. We got the serial codes on the sides, and we've got the Allied Star and the US Star on there. And then on here we've got C19. This is from France. France, August 44. It's difficult for me to see because of the way the light works. We've got maximum speed 20 mile an hour there. Caution, left hand, no signals. And again, we've got numbers, stencils on the side of the hood there. And then here we've got this is Sicily, July 43 with the tan camouflage and everything. I'm just wondering, have we seen it yet? No, we haven't. There's that alloy star with the colour around it. And then here we've got Oneida. So this is 20th Armoured Division, April 45, Germany. Okay, so this one's Oneida. And then here we've got Allah, and this is France, August 44. And then here we've got that lovely winch on the front, look. And this one is Bait. Okay, and it's Belgium, September 44. These don't seem to have the left-hand drive 20 mile an hour markings on them, so if you like markings on your model, you might want to go for one of the busiest ones. Bitching Pals. So here we don't have the stencils on the back, but we've got the nice lettering on the front. Prestone 44. Prestone is actually an antifreeze manufacturer, so I'm wondering what that means. 9th Armour Division, Germany, April 45. And then this one here is France, September 44. This one's got no sort of names or anything, so that's a real basic bog standard looking vehicle. You've got the diamond on the side. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry, it's not a diamond, is it? Idiot, it's a triangle. And then here we've got Profile 8. This is France, August 44. Destroyer on the side. No stencils on the back end. And that's got Prestone 43 on the front. And then this one's got Prestone. I'm wondering if they're telling you to use Prestone in the radiator. And that's August 44, and that's got Denise on the side. I used to have a girlfriend called Denise, so she was lovely. This has got some stencils on the side, but has the winch, and there's that green Allied Star. So this could be the one to go for. Quite interesting. But anyway, you will take your own pick. So and you also got that exhaust coming out there, which will look lovely, all rusted up and everything with the end drill out. So there we are, guys. I quite fancy that, the M8 Greyhound. I've got that, and I've got the Takom, not the Takom, the Das Werk German ones as well, haven't I? So there we go. Very, very nice indeed. I'm very, very impressed, and I really mean that. I thoroughly recommend this kit to any armour fans and any of you that are into 16th scale as well. It looks very complete and very, very lovely, and a great basis to add some detail to your engine and stuff should you want to. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Sorry that took such a long time, but we got there in the end. boy, oh boy, what a kit. How many sprues? Lots. How many sprues? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 sprues. Yay. Thank you, Andy. Job well done. Right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.